Golfers is the craziest people. But from golfers, you pilots can get a serious lesson. If I ain't too personal, take this, for instance. The first rule is keep your eye on the ball. How many of you is looking at the ball? You said it. Me neither. But in golf, there are certain things you gotta do the same way every time. First, you gotta get the ship trimmed for a zoom down the runway. Cowl flaps open, landing gear resting firmly on the ground. The stick is eased well back until a stall occurs. Now full throttle. And the maneuver is completed with a normal loop. For you newcomers' information, maneuver is not what you put on your victory garden to make your vegetables grow. Then comes the approach. The one that works best for me is, hiya, Toots. No, pardon me. That's a different game. I mean, to reach your objective successfully, and I know you alert pilots in the audience is now ready for tomorrow, you gotta follow an established procedure. Make the right way the only way. An established procedure is what a good golfer does as his second nature.
What the professor was trying to say is that in flying the P-47, there's an established procedure to follow from the moment you approach the airplane until you turn it over to the crew chief at the end of the flight.
Jimmy, why don't you run upstairs and play?
Yeah, I will. Only I want Jack to see my pictures first. Here's the B-17. That's a B-24. And here's the P-38. And here's the P-47. Now see if I'm right, Jack. Wingspan, 41 feet. Pratt & Whitney, 2,000 horsepower engine. A four-bladed, 12-foot, 2-inch propeller. I mean prop.
I don't see any propeller.
Of course you don't. It's turning over 2,700 RPM.
Oh, I see. And what's this?
That's a turbo supercharger. It's one I designed myself. It's a lot better than the one in the P-47. The air in my turbo comes through this duct.
Jimmy, why don't you duck?
Not duck, duct. Science talk. Anyway, you gotta have a turbo supercharger to take a P-47 upstairs. Don't you know anything about airplanes?
Jimmy knows his airplanes. He's not kidding when he says that the high-altitude performance of the P-47 depends on that turbo packing air into the carburetor. The turbo does for the 47 what the pilot's oxygen system does for the pilot. Keeps the ship flying high at fighting efficiency.